The farmer's heart with joy is filled when his crops are good and sound. But who can feel the wild delight of a sailor homeward bound? For 3 long years have passed away since we left old Freedom's shore, and our long-felt wish has come at last. And we're homeward bound once more, and we're homeward bound once more. To where the sky is clear as the maiden's eye who longs for our return, and the land where milk and honey flows and liberty was born. So fill our sails with the favoring gale and with shipmates all around, and we'll give 3 cheers for our starry flag and the Jamestown homeward bound, and the Jamestown homeward bound. To the Mediterranean shores we've been, and its beauties we have seen, and Sicily's grand and lofty hills, and Italy's gardens green. We've gazed on Mount Vesuvius with its rugged slumbering dome. Night is the time in that red clime when the sailor thinks of home, when the sailor thinks of home. We've strayed around Pompeii's ruined walls, and on them carved our names, and thought of its ancient beauties past and vanished lordly dames, and gazed on tombs of mighty kings who oft in battle won. But what were they all in their sway with our brave Washington, with our brave Washington? And now we have arrived in port, and stripping's our last job, and friendly faces look around in search of Bill or Bob. They see that we are safe at last from the perils of the sea, saying, "Welcome, Columbia's mariners, to your homes and liberties, to your homes and liberties." Ye jolly sons of the ocean blue, I have a song to sing for you, of the Kearsarge and her gallant crew, and the pirate Alabama. These vessels met in the forenoon on Sunday the 19th day of June, and our Yankee gunners proved right soon too much for the Alabama. In half-mile circles around they went, an hour and more broadsides were sent, till through and through great holes were rent in the hull of the Alabama. Like blasts and from the pit of hell was the awful storm of shot and shell, which from the guns of the Kearsarge fell on a fated Alabama. Her boiler by a solid shot was burst while steam was scalding hot, and shells were searching every spot throughout the Alabama. The crew pell-mell all rushed on deck, hauled down their flag, the fire to check. Confusion reigned upon the wreck of the sinking Alabama. Then overboard all hands did bound, the captain swam for the Deer Hound, a British yacht which had come round to help the Alabama. Captain Winslow hailed her then for help to save the drowning men, not thinking her the chosen friend of the pirate Alabama. Of course his aid was freely lent, boats were lowered and quickly sent, then with a plunge to the bottom went the far-famed Alabama. A number of the crew were brought with Captain Semmes aboard the yacht, which away for a British harbor shot with her prize from the Alabama. Had our Yankee boys their treachery guessed, they would not have stayed to save the rest, but to Davy Jones had her expressed along with the Alabama. Now the English Channel long will be remembered for this victory. 3 cheers for the champion of the sea that sunk the Alabama.
The wind blows off yon rocky shore, boys, set your sails all free, and soon our booming cannons' roar shall sing out merrily. Run up your bunting taut to peak, and swear, lads, to defend her 'gainst every foe. Where'er we go, our motto, no surrender. Our country calls all hands to arms, we hear but to obey. Nor shall home's most endearing charms still one weak thought away. Our saucy craft shall roam the deep, we've sworn, lads, to defend her. Trim taut and tight, we'll brave the fight, our motto, no surrender. Then sling the bowl, drink every soul, a toast to the Alabama. Whate'er our lot, through storm or shot, here's success to the Alabama. Our home is on the mountain wave, our flag floats proudly free. No boasting despot, tyrant, knave shall crush fair liberty. Firmly we'll aid her glorious cause, we'll die, boys, to defend her. We'll brave the foe where'er we go, our motto, no surrender. Then sling the bowl, drink every soul, a toast to the Alabama. Whate'er our lot, through storm or shot, here's success to the Alabama. Boys, if perchance it may befall, when storm of battle raves, By shot or shell our noble hull shall sink beneath the waves. Yet while a plank to us is left, to death we will defend her. Facing the foe, down, down we'll go, but still cry no surrender. Then sling the bowl, drink every soul, a toast to the Alabama. Whate'er our lot, through storm or shot, here's success to the Alabama. Whate'er our lot, through storm or shot, here's success to the Alabama. Off Galveston, the Yankee fleet secure at anchor lay, preparing for a heavy fight they were to have next day. Down came the Alabama like an eagle o'er the wave, and soon the gunboat Hatteras had found a watery grave. 'Twas in the month of January, the day was bright and clear. The Alabama she bore down, no Yankee did we fear. There Commodore, he spied us, to take us long he burned. He sent the smartest boat he had, but she never back returned. The sun had sunk far in the west when down to us she came. Our captain quickly hailed her and asked him for her name. Then spoke our first lieutenant for her name and roused his ire. This is the Alabama, now Alabama's fire. Rattling broadside that made her timbers shake, and through the holes made in her side the angry waves did break. We then blew up her engines that she could steam no more, then fired a gun to leeward, and so the fight was o'er. So 13 minutes passed away before they gave in beat. A boat had left the Yankee side and pulled in for their fleet. The rest we took on board of us as prisoners to stay, then stopped and saw their ship go down, and then we bore away. And now to give our foes their due, they fought with all their might. But yet they could not conquer us, for God defends the right. One at a time the ships they have to fight us they may come, rest assured that our good ship from them will never run. From them we'll never run, and rest assured that our good ship from them will never run.
Oh, the north and southern states, they're fighting hard and late to stop the cotton trade. They raised the blockade, but we soon found a craft, a tight one fore and aft, fought her on the blockade in the morning. She was 600 tons, she was manned by Scotia's sons, she was the skipper's pride. She sailed from Bonnie Clyde for a cargo of cotton, well stowed from top to bottom, hands her on the blockade in the morning. In the merry month of June, on a summer's afternoon, we left the Bromillo and canny old Glasgow. Down the river we did glide, like a swan upon the tide. Oh, winds and weather we were scorning. We soon made Greenock docks, where the people came in flocks. We gave a hearty cheer, as by them we did steer. She was sound from top to bottom, she was built to carry cotton, answer on the blockade in the morning. Well, we hadn't long set sail when we ran into a gale. The land was on our lee, and she rode it manfully for 16 knots an hour. When the wind was at full power, she could go ahead from night until the morning. We soon made Charleston Bay, when the captain he did say, lads, keep a sharp lookout, for to put the ship about. She was sound from top to bottom, she was built to carry cotton, answer on the blockade in the morning. Well, we soon took up our berth, our hearts were full of mirth. The cotton came wholesale, we loaded many a bale, when the captain he did say, come lads, we must away and get clear of the land in the morning. We hove our anchor short, we prepared to leave the port. By 12 o'clock at night, the land was out of sight. She was sound from top to bottom, she was built to carry cotton, answer on the blockade in the morning. Well, in Lancashire we know there are many scenes of woe from this dreadful Yankee war, fought out afar. But who are we to blame, to try and help the lame, answer on the blockade in the morning. Here's to every mother's son that the blockade has to run, and here's to every ship that goes upon a trip for a cargo of cotton, well stowed from top to bottom, answer on the blockade in the morning. Come all ye Union-loving men, wherever you may be, I hope you'll pay attention now and listen unto me. Concerning of a gallant ship, the Brooklyn is her name. That name deserves to be engraved upon the list of fame. Tom Craven was our captain, bold as you shall understand, as brave a naval officer as any in the land. With Lowry for our first luff, the Brooklyn she did steer down through the Gulf of Mexico in search of privateers. 'Twas in the month of April, the fleet being all complete, that was to capture New Orleans, the rebels to defeat. From Pilot Town the line steamed up, resolved not to return until the Louisiana fleet we'd sink, destroy and burn. The rebels, they were well prepared their city to defend. From bank to bank between two forts they did a chain extend, with battering rams and fire rafts and gunboats peppery hot. The rebels, they were well supplied with powder, shell and shot. On the 24th of April, before the break of day, the Hartford being our flagship, a red light did display. The light was seen throughout the fleet, then went up cheer on cheer. The Union fleet got underway, and for the forts did steer. As we went round the point of land that brought the forts in sight, from rifle guns with shot and shell, they soon commenced the fight. The Hartford, she stood boldly up, the Brooklyn, where was she? Just look right under Jackson's guns, it's their blackjack you'll see. shot flew thick and hot. The Brooklyn, she was there. Tom Craven, he is on the poop, she's in his special care. And if by chance the Brooklyn sinks between those forts tonight, her flag shall be the last thing seen when she goes out of sight. The rebels well supplied their guns, and Duncan he did say, there are the Yankees close to us, so at them fire away. And if you sink their ship tonight, the motorboats will run, and then our Louisiana fleet will capture everyone. What is that dreadful noise we hear? Like thunder it does roar. The Hartford has gone up in range, and then the Great does pour. The Pensacola on the right, the Richmond comes up too, and with their 9-inch shot and shell, they breach Fort Philip through. The chain being cut the night before the Union line goes through. The rebel fleet above the forts then tries to bring us to. A battering ram comes down to us to have a little fun, but we butt the ram between the eyes, and then she cut and run. The Chalmette batteries next we take, the river now is clear. We spike their guns and give 3 cheers, and for the city steer. From each masthead throughout the fleet, the stars and stripes doth fly. The city's ours, the fleet comes to, and off it we do lie. So here's success to Farragut and all the Union fleet, which by their bold undaunted pluck the rebels did defeat. And when the war is over, we'll all go north once more, having bravely done our duty in the Brooklyn sloop of war. On the blockade was one Admiral Farragut, who was noted for being a very brave man, who ne'er was known to be scarcified ne'er a bit, and his vessels in all kinds of ructions he ran. He gave a large party one day to his squadron, officers and men, he invited them all. And if you pay attention, I'll just try to mention the row and the ructions at Farragut's ball. 'Twas myself I had a free invitation, for me and my shipmates every one, and quickly it proved me a nice occupation, sponging a hole in the big 9-inch gun. I handled the sponge and the rammer so gracefully, all the company loudly did bawl. Begripes you're a jewel, you do it so tastefully, you're just in time for Farragut's ball. When we got there, they were dancing a polka, Farragut's polka, says I by me soul. The funniest polka that e'er a mortal danced, nothing but whistle, crack, bang, whistle, howl. The boys were all merry, the girls were all frisky, but the devil a girl was there at all. Not even as much as a noggin of whiskey, to blazes, says I, with Farragut's ball. There were torpedoes served round to all of the company, and a new kind of dish that they call ricochet. There was hot shot and rifle shot, shrapnel and canister, till at last we were all of us inside the bay. When the rebel ram Tennessee raised merry murder, commenced training her guns and shooting at all. When a monitor swore that they'd stand it no longer, but they'd have satisfaction at Farragut's ball. Murder me, boys, and then there was ructions, the Tennessee right for our Admiral Hyde. But he quickly replied to her nate introduction, and poured a whole broadside slam bang in her side. The Richmond, Brooklyn, Lackawanna and 2 or 3 knocked off her plating, smokestack and all. We spent 5 days at Pensacola Academy, learning some steps for Farragut's ball. At length she was battered and bruised up so perfectly that a stopper we put onto all of her pranks. And Buchanan, who'd got his leg broken below the knee, surrendered his ship and his crew to the Yanks. The ladies in Mobile, they all raised a doleful cry, and loudly for vengeance every one of them bawled. For they'd lost the price of their dresses and finery when their darling was taken at Farragut's ball.
Oh, my dearest Molly, it's you and I must part. I'm going across the ocean, love, I'll leave you with my heart. My ship is now waiting, so fare thee well, my dear. I'm going on board the vessel, the Bold Privateer. Bold Privateer, Bold Privateer, I'm just now going on board of the Bold Privateer. My dearest Johnny, great dangers have been wrought, and many's a sweet life on the sea has been lost. Better stay at home with your charming Molly dear, than to venture your sweet life a Bold Privateer. Bold Privateer, Bold Privateer, than to venture your sweet life a Bold Privateer. My dearest Molly, your friends to me despise. Besides, you have 2 brothers who'd freely take my life. Come change a ring with me, my love, come change a ring with me, and let it be a token when I'm across the sea. When I'm across the sea, when I'm across the sea, and let it be a token when I'm across the sea. When the war is ended, should heaven spare my life, I'll return again to my intended wife. And now I'll get married to my charming Molly dear, and forever bid adieu to the Bold Privateer. Bold Privateer, Bold Privateer, and forever bid adieu to the Bold Privateer.
Ye tars of Columbia, it's listen to my song. It's of a Union battery, I won't detain you long. She was built by Erickson, a famous man is he, and she's proved to Southern traitors she's the terror of the sea. In the old Virginia lowlands low, in the old Virginia lowlands low. It was on the 8th of March, me boys, remember the day, the rebel steamer Merrimac from Norfolk came straightway to burn and sink our Union ships. At Newport News they lay, and strike the hearts of Union men with terror and dismay. She first assailed the Cumberland, whose guns did not avail. Against her iron-plated hull a rain of iron hailed. She struck her about midships and parted her in two. To the bottom went many of this frigate's gallant crew. In the old Virginia lowlands low, in the old Virginia lowlands low. She next attacked the Congress, a cowardly trick you'll say, who poured at her both shot and shell while she at anchor laid. Her guns they being disabled, her men were scanty few, and prisoners they were taking, both officers and crew. She then steamed down to Hampton Roads for to destroy our fleet, but on the road the Monitor she happened for to meet, who poured at her a killing fire which made them wink their eyes, and from the rebel monster the splinters they did fly. In the old Virginia lowlands low, in the old Virginia lowlands low. This little Union battery fought her 5 long hours or more, until the rebel monster retreated for the shore. She was towed up into Norfolk, in a sinking state they say, which proved to Southern traders that the Yankees gained the day. The Connecticut came to anchor on the 3rd succeeding day, and for the rebel monster at our quarters we did lay, until the close of evening, and they did not appear, and then all hands up anchor, boys, and for the blockade steered. In the old Virginia lowlands low, in the old Virginia lowlands low. Oh, here's success to Erickson, a Union man is he, and for his little Monitor she's the champion of the sea. And for all of her blue jackets, wherever they may be, and death to Southern traitors by either land or sea. In the old Virginia lowlands low, in the old Virginia lowlands low.
I'm going to sing a song, I won't detain you long. If you listen, I will tell you how's a handy-o. The Monitor went smack up to the Merrimac, but while upon her sides played Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh, oh, hip-a-doodle-doo, Jeff Davis, how are you? I'm honored to beat you, Merrimack right handy. Oh, Erickson, he's around in the world that can't be found. The people like the Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh, 'twas on the 8th of March the Merrimack slipped out from Norfolk Port to take a cruise a handy. Oh, she did not think she'd meet anything in her fleet able to give the Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh, oh, hip-a-doodle-doo, Jeff Davis, how are you? I'm honored to beat you, Merrimack right handy. Oh, Erickson, he's around in the world that can't be found. The people like the Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh, she went rushing round, smashing everything she found, till the monitor came sailing in so handy. Oh, and wouldn't stop the fun, soon made a cotton run, while the shells they whistled Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh, oh, hip-a-doodle-doo, Jeff Davis, how are you? I'm honored to beat you, Merrimack quite handy. Oh, Erickson, he's around in the world that can't be found. The people like the Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh, for the Yorktown and the other, they'd be a little bother to smash and break them both up so handy. Oh, for our gunboats they would do to rip them through and through, while the sailors they'd sing Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh, oh, hip-a-doodle-doo, Jeff Davis, how are you? I'm honored to beat you, Merrimack quite handy. Oh, Erickson, he's around in the world that can't be found. The people like the Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh, the Merrimack was some till the monitor she come and opened up a little port so handy. Oh, and then the shot did fly till the Merrimack's men did cry, "Here's a devil sure, a Yankee Doodle Dandy." Oh, oh, hip-a-doodle-doo, Jeff Davis, how are you? I'm honored to beat you, Merrimack quite handy. Oh, Erickson, he's around in the world that can't be found. The people like the Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh, to Jeff this ought to show that this monster is no go, that the mechanics in the north are very handy. Oh, that he must surrender soon, I will blow him to the moon with the inventions of a Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh, oh, hip-a-doodle-doo, Jeff Davis, how are you? I'm honored to beat you, Merrimack quite handy. Oh, Erickson, he's around in the world that can't be found. The people like the Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh, now boys, let us cheer the men that don't know fear, that work that little battery so handy. Oh, they deserve well of us all. Let us pray that none may fall. May they live long to sing Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh, oh, hip-a-doodle-doo, Jeff Davis, how are you? I'm honored to beat you, Merrimack quite handy. Oh, Erickson, he's around in the world that can't be found. A people like the Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh, oh, hip-a-doodle-doo, Jeff Davis, how are you? I'm honored to beat you, Merrimack quite handy. Oh, Erickson, he's around in the world that can't be found. A people like the Yankee Doodle Dandy. Oh,
our bark was far, far from the land, and the fairest of our gallant band grew dead and waned away like the twilight of an autumn day. We had watched him through long hours of pain. Our cares were great, our hopes in vain. Death stroke he gave, no coward's alarm, but he smiled and died in his messmate's arms. We had no costly winding sheet, we placed 2 round shots at his feet. He lay in his hammock, as snug and as sound as a king in his long shroud, marble bound. We proudly decked his funeral vest with the starry flag upon his breast. We gave him this as a badge of the brave, and then he was fit for a sailor's grave. Our voices broke, and hearts turned weak. Oft tears were seen on the brownest cheek. The quiver played on the lip of pride as we lowered him down the ship's dark side. Then a splash and a plunge, and our task was o'er, and the billows rolled as they rolled before. And many wild prayers hallowed the waves, and he sank beneath a sailor.